Hey folks, we're getting set up on Amazon Live. So I am broadcasting right now on YouTube. Just know in about 1 minute we will be live on Amazon. And if you need the specific link, that should be in the details. It should be in the description for this video. So we're about to hit it. Let's go. Getting the countdown. All right. All right. So good morning, everybody. So we are streaming, I believe we are streaming live in two different spaces. So I'm on YouTube this morning, but I'm specifically on Amazon. And on here on Amazon, I am actually promoting and sharing different tips, tricks, strategies as it relates to video, right? So video gear is what we sell in our store. And the quickest way for you to get to the Amazon store is to go to streamlikeaboss.shop. That's our Amazon store, our influencer store. So what we're doing today, and let me just make sure again, I'm checking some things just to be sure that everything is going well. All right. What we're going to do today is a couple of things. So I am going to, first of all, double check and make sure that I'm showing up on Amazon. So that's number one. Secondly, I'm going to cover a couple of ideas around green screens. So we're talking specifically about green screens today. So let me just do this really quick check and be sure that we are live on Amazon. If you're there with me on Amazon, make sure you say hello because I'll be looking for your comments. It gets a little tricky. There we go. Okay, it can get a little tricky when it comes to this space on Amazon because I can't see as much as I would like on my phone. Like I want to see the comments going live. So I'm going to try to do that real quick here. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I can see it there now. Yay. All right. So if you're in the chat on Amazon, feel free to say hello. Let me know you're here. You must be signed into your Amazon account, I believe, in order for you to chat. So again, to get there quickly, just go to streamlikeaboss.shop. Now, I know it's Saturday morning and it's early, but this is a chance where I wanted to make sure that I reserve some time, some dedicated space to talk about green screens. So this will remain on my channel on Amazon, and I hope that you'll come and play with us the next time we come on a Saturday and do a live stream. We're going to do some of these more frequently, but we're still figuring out our cadence right now. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about green screens because first I want to dive into the power of green screens. Like, when does it make sense to use them? What are the benefits? What are the pros? What are the cons of using green screens? And then I'm going to walk through and do like a quick review of several that happen to be in my shop. It's less about the brand and it's more about the idea of which of these green screen features might be best for you, might be best suited for you and how you actually operate. Like, how do you want to set up your video set or studio? So I'll be walking you through quite a few things to this morning. First, here's what I'm going to do is to start out with pros and cons, and I'm going to share a little bit about how I've used green screens previously and maybe that will give you some ideas as we then go into the Amazon store and look at, I think I have about 4 different ones selected. So I want to definitely make sure that I showcase those for you so that you can see what those look like. Okay. All right. So again, good morning. I am here live. This is not pre-recorded at this time. It is Saturday morning. I have had my cup of coffee. So as you can tell, I'm a little hyped because I love talking about video and video gear. So let me share my screen and we're going to do a really quick kind of educational tour first of green screens. And then we'll dive into looking at comments and ratings and some other things around the green screens that I've selected for you here in the Amazon shop. So first, I'm going to pull up my screen share real quick here and make sure that we're giving you, uh-oh, we just turned it off. We're going to turn it back on. That we're giving you a quick primer on why you should even care about green screens in the first place. So let's talk about benefits. So benefits of green screen. It here's the thing. Let me back up a little bit before I even go there. Let me say what a green screen is for those of you who are brand new to doing video. A green screen is basically a screen, as you see on the video right here. It is a screen that you can put up behind you so that it overlays, it creates kind of a disguise, if you will, of your actual natural physical background. So this is used often in video production, whether it's like professional movies, um, news channels. So a lot of times journalists, et cetera, they have green screens, like the weather guy, right, has a green screen behind them so that they can project a different image as an overlay on top of that screen. And you're not seeing that it's really a wall back there, right? So I wanted to share that just in case those of you who are very, very new don't know what this is. Now, it became really popular. Green screens became really popular over the past several years, but really when the whole quarantine situation hit and people were at home and they were on their Zooms and all of that stuff, they were finding that they wanted to hide the bedclothes on the bed and they wanted to, kind of jazz up their backgrounds. And so more and more people started using green screens. And Zoom itself actually has, it gives you capability of actually pretending that you have a physical green screen like the ones I'm about to share with you. You can actually choose an option there where it gives you a virtual green screen so that you can replace your background, whatever your real background is, with their images or with their videos. And a number of other apps and streaming platforms allow you to do this now. And we won't dive too deep into that because we do that over on my actual website and in my channel, my live streams that I do every week. But I wanted to high level kind of give you an overview of what this is all about and why we even care. It gives you a couple of different options. So let's talk a little bit about benefits. The benefits I would say would be that if you want to hide your background, if you want to jazz up your set, and if you want to show a little versatility. And there really are a lot of options out there right now. Let me show you something that's really kind of important. When you're using a green screen, especially if you're using a physical green screen, one of the most important things to think about is that you really want to ensure that you have proper lighting. So I'm showing you kind of an example here of a lighting situation where um, I have a ring light. I think I have a couple of shadow boxes here. And so notice there is full coverage all the way around my body. I'm sharing this because it's really important. And what I see a lot of times people are doing is they're not really giving themselves the full coverage of the green screen. This will matter in a few minutes when we start talking about features of some of the Amazon store green screens that we'll review. You want that full body coverage. You don't want to have little gaps and spaces, right, on the sides here. Because when you do, what will happen is your real background, right? So let's say you have like this polka dot colored wall. I'm just making up something, but then you have this nice scenery with an office look, and it's a white wall with yellow, accents, but then you see the polka dots peeking through on the sides. That's because you have not, or that person has not chosen a full coverage green screen. So I'm showing you this to kind of give you an example of what it could look like, where you literally, your whole scene has the green covered and then it's just you. Now, another tip to think about when you're using a green screen is you do need to be careful of other things that are in your scene that are green. So I'm going to point at, for instance, look right here, see this plant? It's a fake plant. It's a decorative plant, but it's green. So if I were using my green screen features in this moment and I was trying to get rid of everything that's behind me and create a virtual scene for you, what would happen is this green plant would be missing. It would disappear, right? If I had this moved up and in my scene, right, in front of the green screen, all you would see is the cup. That matters as well when you're wearing certain types of clothing. So what you don't want to use, if you're using a green screen, you don't want to wear green clothing or clothing with a greenish tint. So even this brown shirt that I have on was a little sketchy when I actually used the green screen for that scene. I was really trying to do a demonstration, but it kind of disappeared and faded a little bit. And you want to be careful of that. So the better thing to do is to really wear colors that are more solid and brilliant, and that do not, they don't blend into the green screen. Okay. So wanted to share that with you. Now, I was talking about different reasons why you might want to use a green screen. Let me blow this up so you can really kind of see. This was my prior studio. Like I didn't have a full out studio like I do now. This was me just saying, hey, I'm going to start doing live streaming. I want to do more video. And so I just set things up based on what I had up here anyway in my our little family room area. So all this stuff was in the background. Um, and I sometimes wanted to change it up and to have a little more versatility. Also wanted to have a little more professionalism and branded backgrounds, if you will, when I was doing my videos. So I opted to do a green screen. Now, the reason why you see this red square here, if you will, is that this is actually the space where I am right this moment. And I've completely redone and made over my space into an actual video studio. And here are some ideas that I actually adopted using green screen. Every single one of these scenes is using my green screen, but sitting in the same seat you just saw me in. All of these are green screens. So what I did is I had that full coverage green screen, the physical one in the background, and then I replaced the image that I wanted on camera with an image that I like pulled from either Unsplash or something that I purchased from one of the stock photo studios. And look, even this one, when I was doing mindfully marketing and I was focused on that space, I had a branded sign that said mindfully marketing in the background. So you literally can do all kinds of stuff when it comes to green screens. And this is why I'm saying there are advantages to using green screens because it gives you versatility. It gives you the ability to kind of change things up, to have a more branded space. And if you're not quite ready for prime time in terms of your physical studio yet, and you haven't set one up and you're not quite happy with what things look like, this is having a green screen is a really good way for you to be able to give yourself some variety and some options, right? So the key is to make sure your lighting is optimal and that it gives you the full coverage that I showed you previously. Lastly, I'm going to share some things in terms of disadvantages of green screens. So it can be kind of expensive. So as I show you these Amazon store versions in a few minutes, it can get a little pricey, and you want to watch for that, and you want to budget and make sure that your budget is what you expect it to be, right? Um, when you are looking, you're going to find probably the better ones, the better versions are somewhere around $150 to $200. So if you're budgeting for creating a studio and one of the things you want to use is a physical green screen, you want to make sure that you've allotted the proper amount for that. You can get some as low as $17, which you'll see in a second. But remember, you get what you pay for. So I want to talk about features when we look at some of the ones on Amazon, okay? Let me do this too, because I feel like I'm looking in the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. So when you use a green screen, make sure that you're looking at your lighting, that you positioned it so you have full coverage, and that you're taking care of the clothing aspect. You don't want to look like you just disappeared and you're just a head, right? Because when you get it wrong, it can go really wrong. And one of the things that I have seen, by the way, I'll share this, is that I tend to see people kind of put themselves in a position where they think they're using green screen effectively because they're using that like virtual one on Zoom. But then if you have any movement whatsoever, you get that wavy, dreamy thing where your hands and fingers are disappearing and part of your head is disappearing and it just looks weird. That's because that person, if you're seeing that on camera, they're probably using the virtual green screen option that Zoom has, and they're not using a true physical green screen background. So the value and the benefit of you using a real green screen, the physical ones that I'm about to show you, is that you don't have that disappearing act. Okay. So I'm going to double check real quick and see if we have any questions happening, taking place on the Amazon space. Let me look for you there and just see if there's anything. Ooh, great question. So with so many lighting options, do you have a couple that you recommend for optimal coverage? I do. I do. And so we're not going to talk lighting today, so I don't want to go down too deep in the rabbit hole, but I will tell you on my store, in my shop, if you go to streamlikeaboss.shop, there is a lighting area. So you'll want to look under lighting and you'll be able to see different options. For me, and it depends on what you, again, don't want to go too far down here because we're going to go into green screens, but if you have glasses, one of the things you might want to look at is having a bigger lighting setup. So you want to have like the shadow boxes, and you'll see some of those in my store. If you have smaller lights, what will happen is those tend to show up, and the ring light that's directly in front of you, that's going to show up on your glasses. If you don't have glasses, you don't necessarily need to worry about this, and you can certainly experiment with any of the options that I've recommended in my shop. But the key is to have that full lighting. So if you're noticing that there are shadows behind you, right, in different spaces, it's not going to show up well for your green screen because parts of your image will be disrupted. Parts of your image won't look clean, as you saw me showing those examples of scenes that I created. All of them looked really uniform. It looked like I could really be in the scene. So you want to make sure that you are using lighting to cover any potential shadows. So definitely check out the store for that. Okay, let's talk about green screens that are in the Amazon shop. So the next thing I'm going to do real quick here, let me scroll back real quick, go back to my studio set. I want to share my screen with you and I'm going to show you some options. Okay, so this is the store that you're going to go to. When you go to, it takes you to a shortcut because I didn't want to read all of this. So streamlikeaboss.shop takes you right here into my Amazon store. And when you go in here, what you're going to find, let me just go directly to the shop before I go to my green screen list. Let me show you what you'll find for the person that was asking about lighting. So you should see best video lighting, and that's where you want to look. Also, and we'll do another live stream, by the way, in a couple of weeks here on a Saturday morning to make sure we cover lighting. Today, we're focusing on the best video green screen. So the ones that I'm going to share with you today happen to be here in this section. Okay. So we're going to focus on those next. Now, one I want to pull up for you, and let me see if I can like highlight this because I think that I can. Um, I will, I'm going to start small. By that, what I mean is I'm going to showcase the one with the chair. Let me see what this looks like when I am actually on my Amazon. Okay, I'm going to showcase this one with the chair feature. So the one I'm looking at is right here. Okay. And the reason why we're going to start there is because I'm going to go from least expensive to more expensive, and we'll just try to walk through some of the features, right? So that you can kind of see what we're talking about. Let me, I'm maneuvering quite a few windows here. So I'm going to blow one of these up real quick here. Not in a bad way. I'm just going to pick up the picture. All right, so this one is called a Bonio, and it's a 4.7-foot green screen. It's portable. You can use it apparently as a photography backdrop. Excuse me. You can use it as a photography backdrop. You can use it for your videos. Um, the reason why I think you would look at something like this, and let me take a quick sip here. It If you're trying to keep it to an affordable budgeting option, I've seen some people, I've had some clients that have invested in the chair type of green screen. It's a collapsible. The benefit to it is that you have the ability to be able to like port it around. So if you're, for instance, doing live streams or video zooms in a hotel room or you're traveling a lot, you don't have to carry a bunch of weight. It's collapsible, and so it makes it easier for you to be able to carry around. It's portable, okay? And it's cheap because it's under 50 bucks. It's $34.99. So here's a couple of the different angles I'll show you real quick here if I can pull those up so you can kind of see it from the side. And this particular one, the reason why I've put this one into my stock is it looks like it's simple and you don't have to worry about straps not fitting around your specific chair. Like you just put it over the top of your chair. I will tell you, these are not my favorite, and they haven't been some of my clients' favorites. Why? Because of some of the things that you're going to see in the comments below. So we're going to scroll down. I want to show you some of the comments that people are making. But if you're looking for something quick, something easy for you to carry around, something that's collapsible that you can fit into your luggage or suitcase, and you're on the cheap, this may be a good option for you to test out. Um, it is a 4.7 foot wide span. Here's what you want to think about as you're thinking about that. And most, by the way, when I researched, most of the chair versions of the green screens are about that width. Okay. What you want to think about is that you're going to need to have your camera pretty darn close in order to get that full coverage that I showed you in my picture, right? You're going to have that camera pretty close because if you don't, you're going to show the little edges of your circular setup. So your real image is going to show behind that and it's going to be on your scene. So if you're doing a vertical video like this direction, that might be easy and it may not be as big of a deal. But if you're trying to get a wider space or wider scene, or you're trying to broadcast, with horizontal view, you may end up running into some trouble. And this is what I've heard from some of my clients that have the chair version, because what will happen is if you're not close enough and you're not like right up in your own face, you're going to see the real set bleed through on the sides and maybe even on the top, depending on how tall you are and depending on how the height of your chair. Because notice again, the only thing that's really holding this particular one up is that it has the chair, it's hanging on the chair top. There are other versions that have a strap, but I've also heard some things about those being complicated because the strap doesn't always work the way that it should. So let me do this, and I'm trying to move my mouse without giving you a headache. So there we go. What I want to do is kind of go down here and look at some of the comments, because notice that the rating isn't like a 5 either. And I can tell you, I already know why some of these are. Um, let's see. Okay, let's look at now this guy, this first guy here, he actually said that it's easy for him. So he enjoyed it. He gave it a 5 star. He said, don't worry about the low rating. Now, what I look for when I'm looking at Amazon reviews, by the way, is I'm looking for recency, because sometimes the versions that people are talking about in the comments are not recent. Like it's a version that was a year or two ago, and now they've switched it out and given you a newer version, and the people aren't even commenting on the newer version. But this is as recent as February. Okay. So as recent as February, he says other solutions were more than twice the price and required perfect lighting to have the effect that this had straight out of the box. So he likes it for that reason. He said it was the simplest to set up and the best crispness due to how close the backdrop is. So again, notice how he has set himself up to make sure that this full scene has all of the green screen and not part of the real background peeking through. Now, let's blow this up because I want you all to really kind of see this. And as you're considering and you're thinking about the budget version of a chair type of green screen, let me blow this up. So this person gave it a 1, and that was as recent as June. Okay. It says it shows a green flap of material that covers the entire top portion of the chair. They wanted to conceal their black headrest on the chair, but instead it actually came with a T-strap. That's the strap I was talking about. So One of the things I would think about doing if you're going to invest in this particular version is to definitely make sure you reach out to the product maker. Hopefully, I'm not giving you motion sickness right now. And ensure that this is not a chair strap because it doesn't look like a strap in the photos, right? And I do not own this version because I have a bigger green screen, which I'll show you the version, the type that I have in a few minutes. Okay, so we've gone through, that's one of them, one of the four I want to show you. Let's go back over here and I'm going to show you another one. Let me go into my green screen setup here. The next one I want to go through with you, because again, we're talking budget, is this one right here, this little beauty. It's a collapsible portable, because again, if you're looking to make sure you have um, it's budget friendly and it's something that gives you that portability where you can carry it and collapse it. Here's another version, and it says this is only one left in stock, but there are other brands that have similar ones. Before I go further, let me say this. You probably are noticing, oh, wait, that has blue and green. That's because I know a lot of people say green screens, and green is the most common color of what's called a chroma key background. But blue, this particular color of blue, also can work. It works with your camera and with the settings. You can actually make your background disappear the same as you can with green. I just wanted to mention that in case anybody was like, what's that all about? Why is there blue? Okay, so back to this little review. So the collapsible portable green screen backdrop, we'll switch this again here. This one, pros and cons. The pro is that you can port it, just like I shared before. Another pro is that it is, well, this one's $20 because it looks like this one is a used one, but there are other newer ones. Let's find another newer one. I'm not sure why this one is the one in my scene. Yeah, here's some other ones that are similar, right? But here's what I want to share with you as you're looking at these. And again, if you're inside my Amazon store, you should be able to see links for the ones that I'm pulling up. Let me make sure I go to my app and do that too. Okay, so we're highlighting the one that I'm looking at now. The one thing you want to think about if you're getting these type of collapsible double-sided green screens, right, and blue screens, is that you want to consider the same thing I just mentioned to you before about the chair version, in that you need the coverage. And so what I do like about this is you can turn it sideways and get more width. Okay. And you can turn it, you can keep it vertical if you just care about the vertical space. But either way, because of the size of these, you're going to still need to keep your camera pretty darn close in order for it to cover your entire background. The other thing you want to consider with these is that some of them come with a stand and some of them do not. So if it doesn't say it comes with a stand, all you're going to get is this foldable thing right here. You're not getting anything to stand on it. So what I mean by that is actually is right here. See this stand? There's a stand here that will hold up the collapsible screen. You will need to purchase that separately if you're buying one of these and you don't have a stand to hold it up. The reason why that's relevant is because you could end up paying for the same price as what you would with one of the ones that I'm really about to recommend in a minute. Okay. You could end up paying the same price in the end. And I don't know if that's worth it unless you simply just need that portability and you literally are you're like on the go all the time and you need to change your screen and you want that individual smaller set. Okay. If that's the case and you don't have a physical place where you're going to always keep your screen, then this could work. And if you do have questions, feel free to ask them because I'm scanning for your questions if you have them, by the way. I'm watching for that, both on YouTube as well as on Amazon. Okay, but I don't, these are not my favorites. Okay, the first two that I've shown you, however, are options, especially again if you're traveling. So I would look at, again, take a peek at the reviews And you can notice here is exactly what I just told you is what somebody is asking about. So where it asks, does it attach to a chair? The answer is no, it does not attach to a chair. This one has a 3.8 out of 5. Um, and again, somebody here is saying, hey, I love it in January of 2021 because they liked it for doing their online meetings. So maybe they're doing a lot of Zooms and they're not trying to be a pro at video. They're just trying to get those Zoom meetings to look nice. So they probably have that camera like way close in order to make sure they're not bleeding out the real background into their scene. So yeah, and this person mentioned the whole strap thing too. So you just need to kind of watch that. If you're getting one of these versions, it does not come with any straps. It doesn't come with anything. Without a stand, you're not going to be able to make it to stand up. So the stand typically is going to look a little like this. And as you know, if you shop in Amazon at all, you'll know that when you actually get ready to make your purchase, they'll make suggestions for different types of stands, right? So notice how this guy right here is standing up because he has it vertical. But make sure that the height and width are what you want. He's standing, but like the chair versions, you wouldn't be able to stand with that. You have to sit. It's made for a chair. So be taking a look. Make sure you take a look at the inches or the foot width and length. So this one's 5 by 7, and I guess he's kind of a shorter guy. If my husband was standing here, he would be too tall to make this green screen work, depending on what portion of the image you're trying to get. If you're trying to get a full body shot, make sure that the height of your green screen is at least the height of you and above. Okay. All right. Let's move on because, again, these two are not my favorites, but they are in my shop as options, and I wanted to share with you why. Okay. So going back to our best video green screens, now I'm going to dig into two of my more favorite ones so that you know the ones that I actually think you probably should be looking at if you're trying to do video regularly and if you're doing live streaming and that type of thing, right? So the ones that I would recommend really have more of a projector style set. And let me give you one option. In fact, I think I have this. Let me look at my app real quick too. Yeah, I'm going to showcase the newer first. So that's this one here. So let's blow that one up. We'll make it bigger so you can see it and not me. Let's do that. So this newer is 9 by 15 feet, which is awesome because that's going to give you the full screen coverage that you need. It is a true photo and video studio background. It's a drop that if you're really serious about doing videos and you're going to be doing them standing up, sitting down, like you've got this space in your place, your home or your office where you're going to be doing videos, I love that this gives you that full coverage. And I love right now that you can save an extra 20% off. Check that out right there. So make sure if you are looking at this one, that you are saving the 20%. Now, the thing about this full coverage is that it is a background screen and it comes with the clamps. And here, I'll try to blow those up real quick. See these clamps right here? The reason you need these clamps is because they are the things that hold your screen up, your background screen up. Otherwise, notice right here, it is $39, right? Minus your 20% if you're applying it now. It's $39, but it only has the backdrop and the clamps. It does not have these poles that are standing up right here. See that? It doesn't have those. So you are going to need to buy a stand. All it's going to come with is the actual clamps and the green backdrop. So keep that in mind. But I do love the full width and height coverage. But again, you're going to need to invest in a stand as well if you do get this. So just know that, right? So this is 40 bucks or so, but it is large enough to give you the full body shot if you're looking for that. Now, it gives you down here, and this is what I was talking about when you go into Amazon, they're always going to give you a, hey, would you like fries with that? So there is a kit, then this is pretty cool. I probably need to add this to my store. This kit is a backdrop stand. So let's pull it up and see what that looks like. It's a backdrop stand. Oh, and that's not bad at all. So that's only 45 bucks. And look, it has a travel case and everything. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got all the parts and it comes with clamps too. So if you were going to, let me say this, if you're going to invest in one like this that gives you that full body coverage and you're going to be taking photos or you're going to be doing videos and you want to do all kinds of poses, right? And you want to change up your scene and be on the beach and you want to be, newscasting somewhere else, or you want to be doing your live stream show in a whole different environment and space, or you want to bring on guests because of the size of this thing, that could be an excellent option. But here's the thing that you want to think about is your space in your studio. So if you're using a smaller space in your home, just keep in mind you're going to have to make some decisions. Do I want to leave this thing up, like leave the stand up all the time in this space and just tell everybody in the house, don't go into my studio space because this is my dedicated space? Or are you going to pull it down and put it back up each and every time you get ready to do your videos? So that's going to depend on you and on the frequency and on your marketing strategy using video, whether or not it stays up or put it down, collapse it, and then put it up every time you do your video. And that is something to consider because anything that's taking too much time, you're probably not likely to do. Let's just say that. Let me give you my fourth and final, and I'm checking for questions as I mentioned. So if you do have questions, throw those in here. We are going to do an Amazon on talking about lighting so that you have some information on lighting. But I'm going to go into my final one. This is my favorite, probably the most expensive, but it is my favorite option, and it's the kind that I have. So let me backtrack a little bit here. I think it's right there. The kind that I have, let me see if I can move myself because I look like I'm looking at a wall. I don't want to do that to you. Okay, so the kind that I have is this version right here. Let me pull it up under my green screens. It's this one, but I actually have an Elgato. The brand that I have is Elgato because they used to have the Elgatos available and I haven't seen one recently. Okay. And I do not have the largest one, but I'm recommending this one if you want one that is collapsible. It's not easily it's not portable. To me, it's not portable. They're saying portable, but mine is not a portable in that I'm probably not going to try to pick this thing up and carry it everywhere, but it does have a handle. What happens is you're able to collapse this thing down. So let me show you another picture right here. You're able to collapse it down because of, see what the setup looks like in the back? It has this crossbar so that you can pull it up and push it down. Now, the beauty of having this type of green screen is that when you use this type of green screen, as you see here, you get the width so that you have more versatility as far as your scene, and you can do those horizontal scenes, and you don't have to have your camera right up in your face. But you also get the benefit of it moving out of the way, or like I do, just simply set up behind you on your floor and you can pull it up when you're ready and push it down when you're not. Like I'm not using it in this moment, but let me show you. I'm going to give you a prime example of this right now. So here's mine, and I can pull it up. Check this out, right? So I can pull it up behind me and I can push it down. And it's super simple to do. And it doesn't take a whole lot of anything to do that. I can just move it out of the way. I love that because I have a physical studio, but there are times when I want to use green screen, just to demonstrate or because I want to change up the scene. Like I was in the jungle the other day, right? So I can literally just leave that in place in my studio, which is set for me to do my videos. And I can pull it up and push it down. And it doesn't take me having like a, because I'm not like buff or anything. It doesn't take a lot of strength to do that. So in your situation, you want to think about whether or not that might be an option for you. I don't want to pull my back out or anything. So I don't want to be carrying around something really large like the last one I showed you. I don't want to keep creating the stand every time I want to go live or put that big thing, that big bulky thing in my space. With this, because it is collapsible, I can literally push it down and pull it up, and it's easy to move out of the way when I don't want it there. It's inconspicuous. It's not taking up a lot of space and visual, right? So this may be an option, but it is darn near $200. So just know that they do have save an extra $10 when you apply this coupon. So there is a coupon apparently at the time of the recording of this video. There's a coupon for it, but notice also that this one does have 4.6 out of 5 ratings too. The benefit to having a screen like this, and this one is called the Raw Bay, which is similar to the one that I have that's an Elgato, because I can't find Elgato green screens anymore, not this type, but this one, you can do it in two different sizes. So there's one that's a larger, wider size, and then there's another one that is a smaller size. The thing to kind of keep in mind, oh, and this is something I didn't mention earlier, okay, is that this is wrinkle resistant. So you don't have to iron it. Let me show y'all my first green screen. This was my first green screen. You see that? My first green screen ever was just a sheet. It was a green sheet. And I had it taped and then nailed to a wall in a walk-in closet, right? And it worked, but I had to take it down and I had to iron it and get the wrinkles out so that it wouldn't create shadows and all that other stuff. You want your screen to be smooth so that you get the coverage that we talked about at the very beginning. You want that, trust me. So with something like this, it's already wrinkle resistant, and you literally are pushing it down neatly and pulling it back up neatly, and there is no fixing of anything. There's no ironing involved. Whereas the one I last showed you may require that depending on the material. So you'll want to read through the comments and check that, okay? But this is my favorite style of green screen right here. And this is the one, if I were going to recommend one today for people who are in my groups, my coaching groups and programs, I would probably tell them it's worth the investment if they're planning to change up if you're planning to change up your scenery a lot doing video and you're committed to doing videos. I would recommend investing in a better quality one because it's going to last for a long time. The one I have right now it's 2.5 years, right? And I still haven't had to replace it. Whereas if you buy some of the cheaper ones, like the chair versions, and you're using them a lot, I could see you needing to replace and you end up paying the money anyway that you were trying to avoid having to invest. So I'm checking one more time to see if I have any questions that are popping up. We're going to move this on out of the way. We're going to check on Amazon and we're checking in our YouTube space. And Miss Pam Reeves, it's good to see you, ma'am. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so we're good, it looks like for now. Now, if you happen to have questions even after we're done here, don't hesitate to leave your questions in the comments. And if there's something that I can help you with specific to green screens, because that's the topic of the hour, feel free to just leave that question and I'll do what I can to share or point you into the right direction with resources, okay? I hope you enjoyed this and got a few nuggets that will help you to make your decision about your next green screen, whether or not you need one, and which one to buy, which features you want. Okay. But lots and lots of options here on Amazon. I forgot to highlight the one that I'm saying would be the better option. If you are on my Amazon store, you should see the links to the different spaces or to the different versions of what I shared today. So be sure, let me type it in here. I'll put it in here for you. That you go to streamlikeaboss.shop, and that is where you will be taken directly to my Amazon store. Hold on. Amazon shopping. Type that in there. Y'all hear my nice loud keyboard? I just love it. I don't know why, but it's a mechanical keyboard. So this is my Amazon store, and that is where you'll find all the links. Just go under the green screen section. If you need advice or gear in other spaces, if you need books about video, if you need any type of accessories like arms and those type of things, I've shared the ones that I feel I would recommend the best. What I will do is I'll go and update the one that had the blue and green panels for the green screen so that you have more options because it looks like they were only down to one left. Okay. All right, folks. Well, that's it. Go enjoy your Saturday, and I will see you next time. We'll be back in a couple weeks on Amazon Live. And by the way, we do live stream each and every week, so look me up. All right, take care.